بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Everybody will realize when you have knowledge and when you start to see yourself properly, you analyze yourself, you check yourself, you examine yourself, everybody will realize that I'm not doing things properly. Everybody. Even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because why? When you compare yourself, when you get more knowledge, you compare yourself to higher things. You understand? Let's say, for example, if you write a story, you'll think, okay, it's a good story. But when you get to the next year, and you read back the story when you're a bit younger, you think, oh, that English is a bit poor. Spelling was a bit poor. Handwriting was a bit poor. No? When you get 2 years older, you look back again, you say, oh, look at that. The handwriting is so poor. Vocabulary is so poor. Because each time you're getting older and older, your knowledge is increasing and increasing and increasing. Yes? When I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, what I wrote then. Then when I was 15 years old, I wrote in my sabak then. Then when I was 21 years old, my final lesson year, I wrote my lessons and my notes. I think, oh, I'm getting better. I think, oh, my notes now are good. But then when I get back, I say, oh, these notes are quite poor. Then I look, when I first started teaching in my notes, I thought, these are much better than when I was a student. Then when you start teaching for 5 years, you say, oh, these notes are quite poor. And every time you look back, you think, oh, this is quite poor. You write a book, you think, oh, this is so good, alhamdulillah. I explained it in my best I could. And you look back after 5 years, you think, oh, this is quite poor. No, it's a non-ending cycle. So even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to do istighfar. Why? Because he's not looking at what he's doing. He's looking at, I have to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So really, even though he's doing so much ibadah to the best, no human being can ever do ibadah like that. But he's not comparing it to everybody else. Who's he comparing it to? What he's supposed to do. You find he's trying to compare that. I have to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even though he's standing the whole night and he's praying salah, he's making dua, his feet is swelling up, but he's saying, oh Allah, I can't worship you the way I'm supposed to worship you. Because he understands how much he's supposed to worship Allah. Do you understand? So that's why he says astaghfirullah and do tawbah. Because even though it's so much, nobody can even match him. But compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's right, is it less or is it more? It's less. So based on this now, you have to understand that everybody will realize, after everybody, once you start looking at yourself, you realize, I didn't do it properly. So what you have to do, you have to try. So you're saying here, to expect to be perfect is useless. Like you never ever try to say you get a perfection. Like if you lose hope because it's not perfect, you feel disappointed because it's not perfect, you're wasting your time. That's shaitan. Because you can never get perfection. You say, oh, it's not perfect, what's the point? You can never get the perfect salah. You can never get the perfect tilawah. You can never get the perfect hajj. You can never get the perfect umrah. You can never get the perfect notes. You can never get the perfect study. Nothing will be perfect. And if you worry about that, what's going to happen? You'll get like all stressed out. But what you try to do, so you aim for perfection, but don't expect perfection. What do? You aim for perfection, try to say, I want to get as close to perfection as possible, but I'm not going to get there, but let me try and get as close as possible. Do you understand? So that I can never get a perfect salah, because it'll always be, compared to what I'm supposed to get, it's not going to do. But if you try to get perfection, you'll get better and better and better. But when you get better, what's going to happen? You think, oh, it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. Do you understand? So, aim for perfection, but don't expect perfection. Do you understand?